Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick. He's hoping to grow the Republican majority in the state Senate as lawmakers begin to redraw election maps. The question is how and where. Plus, after years of Republicans wanting to rid the courts of frivolous lawsuits, doesn't the state's new abortion law threaten to do the opposite? Those were among the questions we had for the Lieutenant Governor. Lieutenant Governor, good to see you again. Once the maps are finalized, do you expect that the Republican majority in the state Senate will increase?
I would think so. The map that's been put out could give the Republicans an extra seat in Senate. I think it's Senate District 10, which is Fort Worth and out into the rural areas. And remember that seat, though, Jason. That seat has ping-ponged back between a Republican and a Democrat. And what people don't understand about the whole map drawing process, Jason, is that there are a lot of limits on it. Some of those are just federal law, but there's also the number of voters. So we have this year about a 29 million population. The last time we drew maps 10 years ago, it was 24 million. 10 years before that, it was 18 million. So you can see that's a tremendous increase in population. And each district, each Senate district, has to have the same amount of voters within a range. So the average would be, if you divide 31 into our population, is about 911,000. Well, you can't get every district to be exactly that. So you have a little bit of a range above it, a little bit of a range below it.
Senate District 10, though, Tarrant County you were talking about, which Beverly Powell is the current elected official there.
Yeah.
If you add Johnson County and Parker County to this Tarrant County cutout that exists right now, wouldn't that just make it that much harder for a Democrat to ever get elected there?
Jason, you're missing the point. The point is we have to adjust for the population growth in Dallas, the population growth in Fort Worth, the population growth in all the areas. And all those districts have to be pretty much the same. So they're all going to change. And when you start changing the cities, you start changing the surrounding areas. And by the way, the map that is introduced doesn't mean that's the final map. That's the map that's introduced. We can't draw a map that has 700,000 in a rural area and 1,000,001 in downtown Dallas. They all have to be about the same. And so as you start coming in and pushing out, some districts start taking shapes.
I want to ask you about the new abortion law also. What obviously makes it so different and
Yes.
legal genius is that anyone can sue abortion providers or anyone responsible as opposed to the
Yes.
state actually enforcing it. But Governor, I've heard Republicans argue for decades about tort reform, saying we need to clear out the courts of all these frivolous lawsuits. Doesn't this law threaten to clog up the courts with a bunch of lawsuits?
I hope not, because I hope we don't have 50,000 babies aborted every year. That's what I hope, Jason. Look, I'm unashamedly pro-life. I respect and understand that there are some people who have a different view. Just for me personally, and I'm willing to be criticized over it, as many members who are pro-life. I don't criticize the other side. This is where I am. But this is not about tort reform. This is not about money, unless you're Planned Parenthood, because they make billions from this. For me, this is never about money. This is about saving the life of a baby that has a beating heart. And I think what's going to happen, Jason, is that many people, look, right now, the national polls show 47% support, 42% against, but a lot of people now who are kind of on the fence, and look, no one wants to take the life of an innocent child in the womb. But some people say, well, we can do this, we can do that, we can do this. But they've never actually been confronted with the fact that, are you going to make the decision now to take the life of a baby with a beating heart? People have never really kind of analyzed it and thought through it like that. And we think it's a good law. We're saving lives. And, I understand some people disagree.
Governor, last question for you. Lots of Republicans obviously facing primary challengers next spring. Are you planning to make any endorsements at all in any of the races?
We'll get to endorsements later. Right now, I'm focused on getting these maps drawn and passed, because if we don't get them drawn and passed, Jason, by November 15th, it will push the elections back from March to April. And if we wait another month, April to May.
Governor, we'll let you get back to work. Thank you for the time.
Hey, thank you, Jason.